Manchester United are a fantastic team, got really, really good individual players. You know, one of the strongest squads in the league for sure. So we're aware of that, but we also have a confidence in ourselves and understand what we can be like at Goodison particularly. So I think it could be a nice signal in the short term, and I'm not talking about signals to the outside. I think it's more ourselves.
I think it's quite clear that City is a standard in that. There are more teams, but I think also we can deliver that. We have seen it against Liverpool, we have seen it against Arsenal, but now we have to do it on a consistency base. And that is what we have to work for now. But this will not come overnight. It will also take more than weeks. It will take months.
Well, it is a massive game for Manchester United off the back of that derby defeat last weekend and scraping through in the Europa League last night as well. And Erik ten Hag's assessment of that performance last night, Tim, was he said, "We are just not very good." I mean, that's not what you want to hear as players when your manager describes a performance like that, is it?
No, and the fans don't want to hear that too much either. You know, it was the most one-sided Manchester derby I've ever seen. You know, even though they score 3 goals, they got to do something, and they got to do something fast, and they need to bounce back. Everton are a different animal now. We're talking about a team who have got a little bit more confidence now. The fans are behind. There's a connection between the fans and the pitch now with Everton. I think it's a tough place to go. Whenever Man United come to town, it's the biggest game of the season for any home side. So this is going to be a really tough fixture for Ten Hag. I'm not really over enthusiastic when I see him talk, I have to be honest, and saying things like that doesn't go down too well. You would never hear Jurgen Klopp talk like that, would you? Or Pep Guardiola. You know, he's always finding positives within the performance of his sides, but he's talking about time as well, isn't he? It's not going to take weeks, it's going to take months. He's almost sinking on the negative side already. So, look, you've got a squad of players there, Erik, who are good enough to go to Goodison Park and win. Perhaps you're not got a squad of players going to challenge for the title, but you should be beating Everton. So that's what he needs to get into his group of players. And he needs to pick the right side. And if he does, and they perform well, I expect them to win.
Well, what is the right side? Because off the back of the Manchester derby, there were plenty of questions about a couple of things. Casemiro, who they spent a lot of money on, not starting the match, and then Cristiano Ronaldo not even being brought on, and he used the maximum amount of substitutes in the game, and his explanation for that was, I did it out of respect for his big career. What did you make of that?
A funny thing to say, maybe a funny thing to do, but look, he was never going to play Ronaldo in that game because, I mean, they played into City's hands anyway, but if you play Ronaldo in that game, you're playing more into City's hands because City kind of exploited the way they press, and Ronaldo's just not going to do it anyway.
Surely it was a perfect game for Casemiro, though.
Yeah, but so I was in that press conference afterwards when Ten Hag was asked about that, and he just said it's a Scott McTominay thing. It's not about Casemiro, it's Scott McTominay. He's been playing really well. Yeah, potentially so. And even if you don't put him in instead of McTominay, maybe instead of Eriksen, I don't know. He's very kind of dogmatic with how he does things and how he speaks and all of that kind of thing, like Tim was saying. Yeah, the right team. But yeah, the other thing about Ronaldo is he's on for his 700th goal, isn't he? And if he'd come on and he'd been expected to take that penalty, I don't think he'd have wanted to have his 700th goal be when you've scored 6 past them. And I think that's just how he looks after his mind. I'm not saying he would have missed the penalty and not wanting to take it, but I don't think he would want that milestone to be remembered for that. So I wondered if there was part of that in it, like he didn't want to bring him on for this, you know, here's Ronaldo, go and be embarrassed with all the memes and stuff coming on when it's like 6-1 to City or whatever. But that said, I don't think he'll play at Everton either.
Don't you?
No, I don't think so. I don't think Ten Hag fancies him, but there's too many powerful people at United who still want him around, and that's kind of a problem when you're going into a club. Surely you want it all your own way. Who's
the front three for you against Everton?
I'd go with the same one.
Yeah, Martial's done nothing wrong when he's come on, as he, you know, gives him the legs. I think it's not only about what Ronaldo can't. I mean, we all talk about the pressing from the front without the ball, but sometimes you need to stretch teams. And I think Rashford and Martial, I think, have got the legs and the energy to go beyond and open up a little space for Bruno and Christian Eriksen, who can find a pass. So when they get the ball, when they get there, we saw the pass what Bruno made last night.
Yeah, lovely.
Fantastic pass, you know, from very deep. And Christian Eriksen can do that, but need the targets to hit. If Cristiano's standing there with his back to goal, listen, I'm a big fan of his, obviously. I mean, he's one of the best footballers we've ever seen. So why he's still in my squad, I will be playing him, because I don't think there's a obvious choice ahead of him. I think Martial's wishy-washy, he's in and he's out. Marcus Rashford, sometimes he does it, sometimes he don't. He plays off the left more often than not. I think he's better there. So I really think, I agree with Sam. I don't think he likes him. Not personally, I just don't think he fits into what he wants to do. He would have been better off letting him leave the
I would have
club.
moved him on in a heartbeat, I think, if it was up to him.
Yeah, I think he would have done if there was someone where perhaps Cristiano wanted to go somewhere who wasn't in for him. So, I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. Sit tight at Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in the world, you know, and a club what he loves. But 700 goals, he might have to wait a little bit long time.
Wow.
He might be waiting
this weekend?
over
Yeah,
this
he might
weekend.
do. He could come on this weekend.
I agree with Sam. I don't think he starts against Everton.
Although, speaking of him scoring that 700th club career goal, he's going to have to get past a tight Everton defence.
Yeah.
They've actually got the best defence in the league this season.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that? 7 goals conceded. How much of that is down to their new man, that man right there, Connor Cody, who we talked about as such a loss for Wolves already?
Yeah,
And the one behind him,
What's that?
Tarkowski.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I thought you meant Pickford, but Pickford's been playing well as well, hasn't he? Yeah, Cody's just one of those characters, isn't he? Like, England took him to the Euros last summer, didn't play. I don't think he played a minute, but he's just one of those good characters around. He's not going to be kicking off that he's not playing. He's good for the group, and I think, you know, Everton have discovered that. He's a good leader on the pitch. He's a good character off it. It certainly helps. Everton, overall, I think often teams with good defensive records, maybe if we look at Wolves last season and maybe when Nuno were there, it's not always because of like individuals, but because they're a fairly stodgy side and they don't give up much. And I still see that with Everton. Like, obviously they've had a couple of good results recently and things are looking up, but they've got United next, they've got Newcastle, they've got Spurs as well, and they've got Palace. And you think they could easily go the other way. So you can be stodgy and you can not concede goals, but obviously you need to put the ball in the net. That has been an issue for them, and that's why we talked about Arsenal-Liverpool being really interesting. But this will be fascinating as well, because I'm not sure which way this one's going to go.
Yeah, I think they've got a dogged side now, really, who wants to dig in. I think they're a mid-table team. I think when we're looking at Everton at the bottom of the league, can he keep them up? I mean, last year the celebration when they stayed up was embarrassing, really, for a club the size of Everton. But it was relief from the fans and from Frank Lampard. But now he's got a squad of players which should be mid-table, climbing upwards towards Europa League. Now,
they're having to work towards what they were in the first place.
I mean,
this is what they were 2 years ago.
Onana, you know, who's been a good signing. You've got Idrissa Gueye playing. They're protecting, obviously, Tarkowski and Cody as well, who are good leaders. So I think they've got a nice blend there now, and I think whoever beats Everton, they have to work hard to do so.
Yeah.